Hey there.
How's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, man.
Um,
Doing
s-
real good.
this is the first episode of a live for the Roundtable Talk. So, kind of what the idea here is to talk about several things, like from mental health and maybe even have some laughs. Just discuss, maybe debate some stuff. Um, keep it friendly, keep it cool, keep it fun. So I have a couple things that I want to go over. For starters, um, very weird. Somebody just texted me out of nowhere. Um, where was it? Oh yeah. So I want to start off with like introduce yourself, and then like an open floor to talk about yourself or and what's going on in your life. Like in meetings and things that I've been in, therapy meetings and whatnot. They'll you call that like a check-in, and I've done a couple videos and I call them check-ins, and it's basically just me, you know, what's on my mind, kind of thing. And yeah, I'll go first. So today it's kind of interesting, as some of y'all already know. My dad passed away last summer, and I moved in, or me and my family. There's five of us. Uh, moved in uh, with my mom to take care, because it's a large property and there's a lot of stuff to take care of. Well, I'm going through and cleaning out his like shop today, and I'm still a little flustered because it's like just overwhelming because there's so much stuff. Like if um I can't turn the camera around and show you, but it's, oh my gosh, it's insane. That's where I am right now. And it's like it's just one of those things, like it's just so much. Um and I've a couple times today I've had what they call ADHD paralysis, where you just like, or you don't know where to start, and just everything is just like, oh, and so you end up just like getting to a point to where you don't want to do anything. I mean, do you ever get that way?
All the time. All the time. Like you said, it's just everything. It's so much to do. There's so many things that you could be doing. You can't pick one, and I just end up doing nothing most of the time. You know what I mean? Just sitting and getting absolutely nothing accomplished. Um, and that's not a good feeling. Especially, I don't know about you, but with me, that kind of then makes me feel bad about myself, and then it starts a cycle. So yeah, definitely familiar with that one. Um,
Yeah, it's almost, it's paralysis, because like I literally had to just stop what I was doing and sit down, and I'm surrounded by just like, because I knocked over a thing of screws. It was a massive bucket of screws and it went everywhere. And I'm just like, so I just, instead of losing my mind, I sat down. Oops, just kind of like, just breathe a little bit, just took it all in. Then I'm like, okay, all right, I'm ready to start again. And you know, coping mechanisms, man, they've saved me more times than I can even fathom. Like it's, but anyway, so that's where I'm at today. Um, so what you got going on?
Man, not much. Well, I say not much. So I don't know if anybody watching this or will watch this already knows, but I got into some trouble Christmas time ish. I had a drinking related issue, and I'll just tell you. But and you already know, of course. But I had been drinking at like a family function. Um, for one reason or another, I decided I needed to drive home. Roads I've driven before, and I hate to say it, but roads that I've driven drunk before, which isn't, I'm not advocating for that or saying that that's a good thing. But I was like, oh, I got this. It's something I've done a million times. And then I put my car in a ditch, and police showed up, and jail, all that fun stuff. So now I'm in the process of therapy and also doing Alcoholics Anonymous. And so I've been doing some AA work today, fourth step work. And I don't know if you're familiar with that. I mean, I'm sure you are, but just taking kind of an inventory of myself and tough. It kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. You know, there's stuff that you buried deep down because you don't want to deal with it,
Yeah,
and then it comes back out, and you're like, wow, you know, this isn't great. But um, you know, acknowledging it feels good, and then you know, trying to make amends where I can, and then leaving it in the past so that it doesn't cause me guilt for forever. So that's what I've been working on today. In addition to just normal life stuff, you know, Beth, my wife, school. She went to school earlier. She came home. We had lunch. I mean, it's been a good day. I was off work today. It's been a good day, but not a particularly fun day, if that makes sense. But good stuff to do. Important stuff, but not fun necessarily.
not fun.
Yeah.
No, I actually got to have a little bit of fun earlier. I got to set up this thing, which was kind of fun for me because I used to do. I was in audio engineering for a while, and and I did studio setups and different stuff, and this kind of brought back a little bit of memories. Just nowhere near on the scale that of what I've worked on before, but it was still this. I got to break out my little ring light and all the good fun stuff.
Yeah, dude.
So this week was St. Patrick's Day week, right? So it was what, yesterday, right?
Sure was. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And it's there's a few things I found share about St. Patrick's Day. Let's see, about 4 or 5 things. One, did you know St. Patrick was not Irish?
I think so. I think I'd heard that at one point, but I'd buried it deep down. So yeah, tell me more. Tell me more.
Yeah, so he was actually British,
Okay.
born to Roman parents in either Scotland or Wales. After being forced into working for Irish pirates, he turned to his Christian faith and became one of the first people to bring religion to the country in the 5th century. Anyway, so I just thought that was cool.
Pirates, huh? And cool.
Pirates. Yeah, I mean,
I always liked hearing about pirates. Pirates are cool. You know, who doesn't like a pirate story, right?
yeah.
But Roman pirates, so that's interesting. I didn't even know those existed.
What's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
No, it's X because it marks the spot.
You got me. I feel like you set me up with that one, but that's okay.
I did. I totally did. Another thing with St. Patrick's Day that I did not know, we should be wearing blue. Historians say that St. Patrick's color was blue, not green. The use of green on the holiday became common during the 1600s and 1700s, when the clover became a symbol of nationalism and wearing green on the lapels became the norm.
Cool. So your hat, it works. Your hat and your shirt. Your St. Patrick's Day.
Oh
Right
yeah,
now.
I didn't even think. Yeah,
I have the
Anything
wrong
but
color on. Apparently, yeah.
no, well, yeah. No. Here's a cool one. There are more Irish in America than in Ireland, and it's by a lot. According to recent census data, whichever way you want to say it, there are 39.6 million Americans who list their heritage as primarily or partially Irish, compared to 6.3 million people that live in Ireland. So 33.3 million more Irish people live in America than in Ireland itself. I don't know. I found all these today and was like, "Whoa, this will be fun."
Juicy stuff. Yeah, man.
So
I think it's all the Irish Catholics, man, and they like having kids. You're right. You know, you hear about these Catholic families with like 10 kids back in the day. I think that's where they all came from, man.
I stopped at 3. My wife's one of 6, so we're Catholic.
Yeah. Felt Catholic here as well. Catholic boys, fist bump.
Boop. A shamrock symbolizes hope, love, and life. Didn't know that. I knew it had a significance, but didn't know exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Saint Patrick reportedly used shamrocks to explain the Holy Trinity. 3 leaves symbolize hope. With 4th leaf, it symbolized luck, which is considered a 4-leaf clover. That's why the 4-leaf clovers are lucky.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know that one at all. Interesting stuff.
St. Patrick also probably did not actually drive snakes out of Ireland. Some Irish legends claim that St. Patrick drove all the snakes out of Ireland after being attacked. Historians and biologists say that's probably not true, since there were likely never any snakes in Ireland to begin with. Never many snakes in Ireland to begin with, but we'll see. We'll let St. Patty have this one. Yeah. So if you stumbled upon this and you haven't already subscribed, please do like and subscribe. Yeah. So we're probably gonna shoot for an hour and see where we go from there. But I have what I call my 4 rules. And I kind of have put this together over time. I have like a note in a specific note in my phone that I just jot stuff down on, and a lot of times they'll end up something that I'm having issues with will end up falling under one of these categories. Number 1, you cannot improve unless you're honest with yourself first. 100%.
Tend to agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So which, I lied to myself for years. I lied to myself. Like, no, I'm fine. I don't need therapies there. That's for, people that have lost their minds, or that's for, I'm fine. I don't have a drinking problem, or, I don't have this issue or that issue, just completely in denial. But once I started being honest with myself, of, things started to fall into place. And like I said, a lot of things that I come across that I struggle with, it's like, okay, so am I really being honest with myself right now? Or am I just am I trying to fake it to make it,
For sure, man. For sure.
Mistakes don't define you, they refine you.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, you learn from your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. Because if we don't learn from mistakes, then we're destined to repeat them. And this is all, pretty cliche stuff, but it's stuff that has helped me tremendously, and in the past, and I'm sure will much in the future. And then there's, once you've made that mistake, you fix it and do the next right thing.
Yeah.
So that's the third one.
Third kind of ties in with the second. That's nice.
It does, yeah. And yeah, so if you mess up, you got to be honest with yourself, realize that you made a mistake, let it refine you and let it not define you. Then you have the opportunity to do it right the next time you do the next right thing.
Yeah.
And then 4, this is actually probably around the same as 3, but don't let one mistake turn into 2.
That's really good. Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Okay. Dude, I've done that so many times. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I'm out and I'm doing something. I don't know, drinking too much or whatever, and then I wake up the next day and I'm like, oh, hungover, and then I do it again the next night, and I just, I've fallen off the wagon a couple times before I finally got. I'm a year and 5 days into complete sobriety. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. That's a hell of an accomplishment. I'm like 75 days in myself, so not where you're at, but
dude,
working on it. It's a start.
The first few months were tough, really tough, especially because putting back together my life. I'm going back and I'm thinking about what I did. And there again, that guilt you were talking about earlier,
it'll get you. Yeah, man.
Oh man. And trying to make up for it, and realizing that I just have to, just plug along and just do the next right thing. Stick to my four basic rules. As long as I stick with my four basic rules, I can overcome just about whatever.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
yeah, it's pretty. I don't know. It's pretty difficult the first like 3 months, straight up first 3 months. After that, it kind of leveled out. I mean,
Yeah.
not completely.
You've got to
It's
learn. You've got to learn. Like I feel like, at least with me, like when I given up drinking, I gave away like one of my tools. You know what I mean? That like I used, um, that I began. I'd use it as a coping skill for so long. It was the main tool in my toolbox when something bad would happen. And you got to find new tools, and it's not an easy thing to do. You know.
Yeah, that was one of the first things that I learned, that really stuck with me, I should say, is coping mechanisms. Like I have different breathing things that I do, and the one main thing is, once I got more in tune with myself, I was able to recognize that I was going into a spiral. I was able to recognize when I needed to use one of those coping mechanisms, and it just takes time. And that's the like I said, the first 3 months, um, because I went years and I didn't realize how bad it was until when I started to get down, um, that's when I used it as a coping mechanism. And it's like not the right thing to do for a coping mechanism, because all it does is, you know, messes up your everything. Like it's bad for you. To
Right.
anything in excess is bad for you, period. But, you know, drinking especially, because I mean, it messes um, with your filter organs big time. And your filter organs are what, like when they say check with your gut, like you have your gut instinct. That's for a reason, because those organs directly influence your your mood, your thought process, can directly influence a lot of stuff. And I didn't even realize what all it actually influenced. What's up, Daniel? Hey, bye. Um,
Daniel, my man.
I didn't realize what all it actually influenced until I started getting healthy. And I started eating healthier and trying to exercise and trying to, and even just the cutting out of putting poison in my body, essentially, was it just helped tremendously.
Man, and you said alcohol is 100% a poison to every single cell in your body. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, alcohol is terrible, terrible for you. So it does feel good. I mean, health wise, just not even mentally, but physically. I feel so much better than when I was drinking a lot, and no hangovers, which is a wonderful thing in and of itself.
Yeah.
Hangovers are the worst.
Oh
So
yeah, they are the
that's
worst.
that's something I don't miss.
Oh yeah. And like, so for the first, like I said, first 3 months were the toughest. And I had like a surplus of energy all of a sudden. And then things kind of leveled out. And now I'm like, once I started exercising again, it was just, everything just kind of got back in line. And, eventually my headspace followed, you know, and,
If you don't mind me
y-
asking, what type of exercise are you doing? Because I'm looking to start doing something, but I'm looking for some like low impact type of exercise. Are you like running?
I got the one for, oh, heck no, no, no. My
Okay,
knee's
good. I was gonna
gone,
say I
dude.
can't handle
No,
that.
no.
No,
I
I
used
can't do
to
it
I
either.
used to run when I was in my 20s. I ran probably 5 miles a day,
Jesus
and the
Christ.
problem is I ran on concrete, so now my right knee is pretty much just. I'm probably gonna have to have surgery on it at some point, but
You're
no, I've
also
been
you're an old
doing.
man now, so
Yeah, right. Mid 40s with three kids. Yeah. Um, no, it's actually, it was a video that I saw on YouTube that was I think it said the 7-minute exercise or the 10-minute exercise or something like that. but I wrote it down exactly what all they do, and but it's like the 10-minute exercise for dads that don't have a whole lot of time or something like that, and it's all like there are push-ups, there are planks, there's you do this horseshoe pose and you just hold it there for 30 seconds and it helps. It's tremendously helped my knees and help things out, my lower back.
I see.
And then balance exercises where you stand, I don't know what it's called. You stand on one leg and you kind of like do the Superman with one leg and then do that 8 times and then do the other leg 8 times. You do 3 rounds of that. I'll write it all down for you. It's pretty cool. And then do
Yeah, man.
the kettlebell. Like
Mm.
none of this stuff. I mean, when I grew up working out, it was with weights and stuff. And I didn't think about doing the core type exercises like that.
Oh yeah, it's so important. So
Oh, it
important, man.
is. Especially, the older you get, I'm telling you, the older you get, you're gonna want to strengthen your core because, it's it. I go to play ball with my boys, and they're running circles around me, man. Let's see, with Daniel, see people struggling with alcohol. Yeah, see, that's one of the things that made me want to change is, you know, I have 3 kids. And they were starting to recognize when daddy was tired or whatever, and it's not cool. And I don't want them I don't want them to see me and think that this is the example. This is what you're supposed to be when you get older. Because kids inevitably, no matter how no matter how shitty you are, they will still look up to you if you're their dad or favorite uncle or freaking whatever. And so that's that extra responsibility that I took on. Um, yeah.
And I just
Uh,
want to say, Daniel, my dad was an alcoholic as well. I didn't know him at all until really, really late on in my life. Um, and luckily, I was able to kind of patch things up with him. He passed away, and his alcoholism definitely was a factor in that. So yeah, I totally can relate, man. I didn't meet him until I was 20, in my 20s. I don't know exactly when now, but yeah, totally relate, man. And so I've had to go through that. I know how hard it is. So yeah, just wanted to say I feel you, man. I feel you.
my
So
uh, my mom's real dad died when she was a year old. But her stepdad, basically the dad that she knew most of her life, was a massive alcoholic. Not abusive or anything like that, but it was still like it was still bad enough to where she recognized it in me and um immediately was like laid it on thick. And now, that sometimes can help, sometimes that can hurt. But in this case, it was like, I don't want my mom to see me go through the same thing that her stepdad did. Oh, 35 this year, never. Yeah,
damn, man.
sorry, man.
Yeah.
That's Yeah. I'm 45, and I was lucky until last summer to have both parents. Very lucky. Um, and you know, it's it's hard. Like I can see it's hard. Daniel, I don't know if you're a dad or anything, but like it's difficult being a dad, and some people aren't cut out for it. And man, I it's just tough all around because like not everybody has um was how do I explain that? So like so I know people that are just completely, there's no way that this person could raise a child. I my buddy Tommy, I won't say his last name, my buddy Tommy, for one. Um and his dad was, I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting totally off subject here, but he,
No, I feel you though. Yeah, I mean, my dad wasn't a terrible person or anything. He just wasn't a good dad, you know. And um, I get what you're saying, and I hope I'm not overstepping myself. But Daniel, I hope that someday that you guys can like meet, and maybe just be friends, or just have a conversation, because I'm just really glad that my dad and I at least got to do that before he passed away, and the opportunity left forever. You know what I mean? So again, I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't do. Just saying, for me, it helped me to let go of a lot of like resentment and anger I had when I learned that he was just a broken dude who couldn't. You know what I mean? He wasn't a bad guy. He just was struggling himself, you know. And and now with my struggles, I kind of see it and can relate to it, and I don't hold it against him or anything like that. You know, I just, you know, we gotta. Everybody's sick in their own way, and I try to treat him no different than I would any other person that's sick with anything. And so that's just the way I viewed it. But for the longest time, I hated the guy. Like, you know, he my whole entire time growing up. So no, I mean, I get it. I get that all the different range of emotions kind of that can go into that.
yeah, see, yeah, similar thing to you, I guess. Um, so yeah, my heart goes out to you. Both of y'all. Like, I can't imagine what it was like. I'm very, very fortunate, and I miss him every freaking day to have had a great dad, you know. And yeah, so oh yeah,
That was exactly how my dad was, man. Yeah. So I know the hurt. And if you ever want to talk about it, man, you know my number. So if you ever want to chat, man, hit me up.
definitely. Yeah, especially with the way our sporting season is going.
Jesus, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. Don't
oh
remind
man.
me. I'm
Yeah,
glad I
right.
got I'm glad I got the MLS to keep me occupied this season. Nashville are actually doing pretty good.
Oh, my
Um,
MLS team just got our first point. So
Yikes.
bad, dude. So literally played what 4 or 5 games now. Have scored, well, scored more before this last game. Had only scored 1 goal. Scored three this
Ouch.
last game. I was
So
there and it was snowing. I mean, it started. We had to leave at halftime. It dropped 15 degrees, and both my kids were just like shivering because we didn't. It was supposed to be, you know, in the upper 40s Fahrenheit, and no precipitation. Then it just boom, all of a sudden started coming down. Anyway, we left and it was just um
that's a cool thing that you're doing with your kids. You know, I already know they're big into soccer because they play,
mhm.
but it's cool that you're making those memories with them and stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was it was tough. There was a couple times, well, one time in particular I messed up. Um we I took them to a game one weekend, and it was the first game that I had driven to and actually had to park. And it directly across the street from the stadium is a massive outlet mall, huge outlet mall. Um, and so I parked over there, not thinking anything of it. Right, I went inside, and it was a rivalry game, a derby, and Kansas City versus St. Louis, and it's, you know, in the same state.
St.
Granted, they're six
St.
hours
Louis
apart. Yeah,
St.
yeah, yeah.
Louis is a sick team too, by the way. I don't know if they
Oh
still
yeah,
are, but they were really good when they first started. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think it was the first year that they moved up to the MLS. But I got really hammered at the game. First, I forgot where I parked the car. So it's, you know, 11:30 at night, and I have a 6 and a 7 year old with me, and they're freaking out. And I probably shouldn't have been driving anyway. But um, and my phone died.
Classic. When I got arrested, the night I got arrested, my phone died and I couldn't get a hold of anybody. And that's part of why I drove. So I can relate to that too. There's so many little things that I know we put ourselves in these positions, but then it seems like everything that could go wrong does kind of, and just adds and stacks and makes the situation worse. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. So your phone died.
No, you're good.
Um,
Oh, just 'cause, yeah, my phone died, and so well, I finally found somebody, a group of people, and used their phone to call my wife, and she told my wife that I shouldn't be driving, which was probably accurate. They drove us back to the hotel, but that was a huge wake up moment for me. That was and they still bring that up. My kids still bring that up.
Yikes.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be it's gonna be insane. So, I was in high school when the World Cup was here last, and the MLS didn't even exist then, and it was huge, huge, and um, that's the whole reason why they were able to spark the MLS coming or starting up. Um, well, I
So
mean,
most games will probably be, I would say, I don't know. You think they're going to be afternoon or evening games or a combination of the two?
well, most of them are going to be between 6 and 8 hour difference from London.
Hmm.
But I mean, Qatar. I mean, it was in the middle of the night here. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I had to watch the next day. Um, they'll probably be at the normal times. Just a heads up, they're probably going to be at the normal times. Um, the good games are going to be probably late at night, which will be early in the morning there. Like what's it, 1:30 there in London? I don't know what part you're in. Um, is there only one time zone in the
I think
UK?
so. Yeah. Yeah. Just one.
Okay. Yeah, that's it's strange to us over here because we have four.
I was going to say, I don't
And
think me and you are even in the same one, are we? It's 7:30 here. What time's it there?
yeah, we're in the same one. Yeah,
Oh,
Central.
nice. Nice.
Yeah. Um, Jacob's in Mountain in El Paso,
Yeah.
but I mean that's Texas is huge, man. So
Driving from
huge.
one side of Texas to the other takes over 12 hours. And that's just one state. Oh, nice. You'll be
Oh
good.
yeah.
It won't be too bad for you then, Daniel. Uh, but yeah, I mean, 7, 8 o'clock. So between now and, yeah, about this time, I would say most of the matches will be the big ones, at least, like you said.
Hmm. Yeah, and especially I mean if they're out, there's a lot of them that are going to be out west, so it'll be later than this.
True. I go
Um,
to my AA meeting that I go to. It's over Zoom, and it's 10 o'clock for me is when it starts. But for them over there, and it's in Oregon, and
Eight.
over there it's only like 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, if the games are, yeah, it's going to be nuts. Um, it's going to be real late, but it'll be all right, man. It'll be fun. Well, I have a feeling everybody will, you know, make it to make it to be awake for all the matches. Uh, it's the beautiful game, man. You love it. You'll do anything to
Qatar
watch
was
it.
Qatar was brutal.
Yeah.
It, I mean, well, so we had some they had some really really late games that were still 10 a.m. here or something like that. It was yeah. I don't think that they're gonna be too bad if you're in the UK. Um, but like, see, I didn't realize that Brazil is actually further. I mean, I'm not a big geography guy, but Brazil is actually further east than like Maine. Like it's
Really? Yeah, I had no
yeah,
idea. The map doesn't. The globe, the good old globe, doesn't really make it look like that. Um,
yeah. Well, because it's their time zone is 2 or 3 hours difference from here.
Interesting.
Um,
Yeah, I had no idea.
sorry, I'm still getting used to this thing. Oh yeah. See, we have uh in some states here because every state is different with alcohol and like sin laws, so they call it in the southern states. Um, they have some sundown laws, which they're not literally sundown, but it's uh, for certain stores they have to they have to close down for like an hour or two. But then there's some licenses that let you stay open to 5 a.m. But um, then they can't open back up until noon or 11 or
Noon, I think it
something.
is. It's noon here.
Um,
Um,
is it?
yeah.
Well, those are like private club licenses, but the one that I had with my restaurant, we could serve until 2 a.m. and then could start serving again at 7 a.m.
Oh
So
wow.
there was that. Yeah, so we
Five,
could. I mean, we were able to open for that type of stuff. But yeah, for sure. Special licenses. That's going to be, yeah, because 8. So it'll just be late at night. So if they have an 8 p.m. game, 2 in the morning, right?
yeah, I think their time will change. So right now, I think we're on a 7-hour difference because the time's
Oh,
moved here, but the time hasn't changed in England yet. But soon they're going to have their 1 hour time change too. So we'll go back to being just 6 hours off from them. But I think right now we're 7 hours apart from England.
dude, didn't we vote to get rid of that?
Who knows? I don't even know. Uh,
Fair enough.
yeah, I can't
Oh
keep
yeah.
track.
In England, we seem to always lift our licenses more for big football events like the World Cup. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
money to be made.
well, yeah, that and the sport was invented there, so it's like a big deal. Like, I mean, it's becoming a bigger deal here, but it's still nowhere near as big as American football or basketball. And like we're in March Madness, which is where all the college teams, the amateur teams, which are really not amateurs anymore, but there's what is 64 teams, massive tournament, and it's a huge deal here, and like that's another one of those things that they, when they have some of the earlier rounds, some of the games are fairly early in the day, and they go on the entire day because, like I said, there's 64 freaking teams. So it's yeah, it gets pretty insane. And if you have a bar or restaurant and you're not open early enough for those, I mean, you're gonna get hate mail. You're gonna get all kinds of stuff. Like we one year we missed something, and it was like, so I'm right on the kind of on the corner of like 4 states: Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Arkansas, like right up here in the corner. And so there's a lot of fans from all of those universities that are in this area, and a lot of transplants because I live around I live like 15-minute drive from Walmart home office. So there's people from all over the world that live here. And yeah, so it's crazy. Like you pretty much have to be open for everything. And especially like the World Cup is going to be huge. I think it's going to lift the sport here in the US to even further, because if it jumps as much as it did from 94 to 96. So 96 is when MLS started. 94 was the World Cup here. Yeah. Oh, Cardoso.
I'll
Um,
have to leave that to you, Nick, because I don't know anything about the guy.
okay.
Literally nothing.
Cardoso's gonna be a good player, but
I mean,
he's
I saw
behind.
him boss that game against who was it? Was it Real Madrid or was it? I think so.
Yeah,
There were some highlights and he absolutely looked like a machine. But I mean that's about as far as my knowledge of him goes. Is that one match?
well, he's behind Tyler Adams and McKinney pretty much. I mean, sometimes they'll put a double pivot out there and do both of them. Have McKinney and Tyler Adams out there, but when Tyler Adams was hurt, he got some playing time. But he's good. Yeah, he scored. Yeah, scored against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Um, but he's good. I mean, he's really good. I don't. There are a lot of people that are losing their minds over him, and he's still young, and he has really good instincts, and he seems to be getting better constantly, and and Poch is going to show him the way. And he is a native Spanish speaker, which we have a lot of native Spanish speakers in the U.S. Um, and so it seems like the communication level with some of them, like Serginho Dest, who's a right back. He's been
Phenomenal
hurt a
player.
lot lately, but yeah, he's again a native Spanish speaker. Played for Barcelona, and now he plays for PSV
Don't know.
somewhere. Um, I keep up with way too much U.S. national team. Um, but anyway, yeah, Cardoso is going to be good. He's not quite there yet, but he's going to be good. Um, like if he was here this season, especially with the injuries, he would have he'd have been there. He'd have seemed there.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I think that but he's not the answer to like what we're looking for. I don't think he's kind of the same mold of a lot of players we've got, where he's not exactly a 6 or an 8. He's, you know what I mean? He's kind of a weird, more of a box to box and a holding midfielder, I think. And I think what we need at Spurs is more of a holding midfielder, in my opinion. And he's not really that, you know.
Well, he's really good on the ball, and his timing and tackles. Those are the two things that I have noticed, and the only reason that I've noticed those is because I went back and I watched some of the kind of pseudo off season. So when the big boys, like Pulisic and McKinney and all those guys, when those guys are still playing in like Champions League or something like that, they'll bring in like the B team or whatever. And Cardoso got to play in one of those, and I watched it. I watched it back, and those are my two big takeaways from him: was he's good on the ball, and he can time the tackles. 21, yeah.
For that price, I
I
still would grab him, but that's just me.
do what?
I'd grab him for that price, honestly. I think he's more oven ready, as you could say, than Gray, personally. But then again, we haven't seen Gray enough in the midfield to really,
How old is
say
he?
that with
He's
much
20.
confidence.
Is he 21, 22?
I think he's 21. He's not definitely not old, but I just feel like he's gotten more game time, at a higher level than Gray has. But again,
23.
oh shit, pardon my
20
language.
matches,
Sorry
one
about that.
goal, one assist this season. I didn't realize. I thought he was a lot younger than that. I also thought Anthony Robinson was a lot younger than that. But I remember whenever he was just getting into the team, because he's he's born here, I think. We have a lot of these guys, like Pulisic even, born and raised here, and then moved to England or moved to Germany in Pulisic's case. And so a lot of we have a lot of players that have English accents, which is kind
Yeah.
of strange. But yeah.
Cameron Carter
Oh yeah,
Vickers.
yeah, 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 yeah. Robinson. Yeah, a friend of mine, who's a coach at that coaches at the club my boys are belong to. Said he got to meet him, and he's just like a super super good dude. Yeah, but
It's always good to know.
I was born in Milton Keynes. Oh, I didn't realize. I thought he was. Who am I thinking of then? Oh, um, oh my gosh, I'm blanking out now. The guy, he's a fullback, plays for Canada, but was born in New York.
Oh,
Plays for
oh,
Bayern.
yeah.
What in the world is his
The
name? I'm blanking out now.
Alfonso Davies.
Yes. So he could play for either Canada or the U.S. And Robinson could play for England. Oh, I didn't know this.
I didn't either. Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, man.
Is Dele Alli from there?
Yeah. I
Where's
don't know if
Dele
he's
Alli
from. I don't know if he's from there. Yeah, no, he's from there. Yeah, he is. Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy because the U.S. is so big, so broad and spread out, and we have so many different cultural groups. Uh, yeah, people from all over the world. It's pretty cool. Like I said, where I live is right by Walmart home office, and we have a lot of Indians, and um, because they're uh, one of Walmart's main uh, telecommunications offices is in India, and they require that everybody they do business with have somebody here local that
Hmm.
can make a quick decision. And so there's like a lot of Walmart execs are um, are Indian, and we just some of the coolest people. The one complaint is there are no good Indian restaurants around here, which accurate because there are not. I mean, there's a couple good Vietnamese restaurants.
We've got
Uh,
one good Indian restaurant in my town. I love it. National team who's in the same postcode. Oh,
oh,
snap!
who's that?
I don't
Oh,
know.
Robinson. Are you in Milton Keynes?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, it must be. It
well that's
must be
cool.
him then. Yeah, dude. Yep, yep.
Well, Weston McKinney um, was in a so in another a whole nother life. I did my student teaching in Texas, and because I was going to be a teacher, which I was going to be a music teacher, and then I ended up going back to school for audio engineering and completely changed my life. But the place that I did my student teaching, he's from like two towns over, and was in school at that time. And I didn't know who he was. He was whatever. I just thought it was. I saw a bio of him. 'Cause I mean, I'm so much older than he is, and like when I was there, he was he was in school like just down the road. I don't know, silly stupid story, but
See how easy it is to get us off on a soccer tangent? So easy.
oh yeah,
So
oh yeah.
easy. Um,
Um, so I do have some fun, interesting news.
yeah, what you
So
got?
this portion, headlines, entertainment, technology news, whatever. Um, if you blazed massive amounts of weed as a youth, students or scientists have interesting news. When most smokers light up a joint, it's unlikely that enhanced cognitive ability is is front of mind. Not shockingly, the long-held assumption from most that tends to that tends to say that weed makes you dumb and fries your brain permanently. Intriguingly, the argument is going up in smoke. Recent study in Copenhagen challenges that long-held belief. Researchers examined 5,200 Danish men and found that neither starting cannabis use in adolescence nor frequent use in adulthood resulted in greater cognitive decline later in life.
Thank
So,
God I'm gonna be okay, man.
right?
Um,
So there's hope for me yet. Well,
yeah,
see, it's
yeah.
legal here, so it's I think I was talking to you about it today or yesterday, whenever. Um, it's like going to the liquor store.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean, it's the same.
it's legal. It's legal like 10 minutes that way, and it's legal like 10 minutes that way, but it's not legal
Mhm.
right here. But yeah, it's strange. This is a weird country, man. Weird country.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, nice. There we go. How old are you?
Now I know more about you, Daniel. How did I never know this in the past? How did this never come up? It's awesome.
Oh wait, I missed this one. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I heard about that. I'm still confused as to his like um heritage, like how he has dual citizenship. Doesn't matter. I mean, he's a great player. We'll take whatever we can get because it's about the fifth or sixth most popular sport in the U.S. and the women's team is fantastic, but the men's team is okay. So you're 35. Oh yeah, that's right. You said that earlier. Pay attention, Nick.
Shoot, you're good, bro. Don't be so hard on yourself, man.
Oh, it's all in jest. It's all in good fun. Um. Okay, how about a joke? Ready for a joke?
Lay it on me, bro.
It's brilliant. Chuck
Dad
Norris
joke.
once.
Dad joke on the way.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Chuck Norris once uppercut a horse. We now call them giraffes.
Love it. But
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. There was more to the cannabis story. The study excluded women. They didn't take women in consideration. Yeah. It actually it affects them more than it does men. They're still doing STEM research on the factors whether cannabis affects cognitive ability or not. But yeah, I'm jumping all over the place. We're learning, or I'm learning. Colin's done quite a few live shows. This is my first, and
you're nailing it, bro. You're killing it.
Well, but I just I have many leather-bound books. I don't know
Your
if you know
your
this.
apartment smells of rich mahogany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I said a reference. I'm massive on movie references, and I did a reference. Oh, cowbell. I was talking to Johnny, and I did a more cowbell reference. And I don't think he caught it. I don't know if is SNL, is Saturday Night Live a thing in the UK? Like, do they?
I don't think they. I mean, they probably watch it. I mean, some American TV and stuff is huge everywhere. Just because our country puts more money into it than like most others.
Well, they also have a lot of huge stars on there and big time music acts. So I thought it might be
maybe. Daniel will have to let us know. You ever watch SNL? Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, I had to specify because it sounds too much like something else.
I love it.
Anyway, so yeah, I have this outline that I kind of wanted to do each time, and I'll have some banners and whatnot for later. Welcome in, and then we'll do the check-in. Oh, Daniel missed the check-in, but we kind of checked in. So what we'll do is each time we get a guest on, we'll do a check-in. How was your day? What are your struggles? Your what? Oh, that was the one thing I wanted to do. Name one thing. Oh, I'm looking at it like everybody else can see it. Yeah. I mean, I watch a lot of TV, streaming type stuff, so I can watch it on demand whenever. But I can't watch a whole lot of what I want to watch until the kids go to bed, because like it has language in it, and I have a 9 and a 10-year-old. And 4-year-old. I had to remember how old she was. Yeah, so even regular commercials on regular broadcast television, I'm like, cover your eyes. So I mean, I forget what it was. Oh, it was the it was an erectile dysfunction ad. And it had like a banana, and it was like everything was all phallic. Like the entire ad was phallic, and my 10-year-old started chuckling, and I'm like, oh god, And then the very next one was the lingerie commercial. I'm like, this is why I don't watch regular TV. I mean, if I'm by myself, it's like, okay, whatever, but I got 2 little boys who are gonna chuckle at that. I don't know. Anywho. Got off subject again. This is probably going to be the norm.
I think so. Again, nothing wrong with that.
No, I mean, yeah, it's my ADHD kicking in, which it especially this time of night. I mean, it's super late for them, but it's 8:00 here. Yeah, so my medicine and ends are wearing off. Yeah, I'm in the South. And so I'm just enough north that I can recognize how southern a lot of people here are. Man, there was an old man at the gas station the other day, 2 pumps over, and he started talking, and I swear to you, could not understand a word. I know he was speaking English. I know he was. and he had like two teeth, and I mean, I'm sure he's just the nicest old man, but like, oh man, and he was super animated about something. He's like, "Dang on my God, yeah, yeah," like Boom Hour on King of the Hill. You ever watch that?
Classic. Oh, I love
Oh,
that show.
dude,
Yeah, dude.
the guys, this old man sounded just like that. So you have you here, because it's such a strange coincidence of a melting pot. You have that absolute extreme, and then you have people that don't speak English at all, and you have like, it's just, I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I personally, I like it. Um, it helps expand things. Plus, I mean, my kids are of mixed race, so like, um, it they they're just now kind of understanding the 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 reason why their ong and ba, which is grandma and grandpa, speak a different language than my parent than their nana and papa did. And I don't know, it's kind of cool. I like the whole melting pot thing. Like,
Definitely. Yeah, it's cool for your kids. I mean, they get to like hugely different perspectives on things, and like that's really cool.
I mean, I grew up in the country, like freaking middle of nowhere. My town had uh 2,200 people in it, I think, and that was like, I don't know, 80s, late 80s, early 90s. And it was, I mean, we had, it was pretty much all white, and then we had like one of each, one or two people of each other ethnicity in the school. And so
I bet they felt strange at times.
oh,
You
I'm
know what I
sure.
mean?
I'm sure. I
Yeah.
mean, I've been multiple times, specifically because I'm married to an Asian woman, and at family events and whatnot. Um, I've multiple times been the only white person there, and you get, it's not a big deal. You get used to it. But I had to learn. I had to learn the language. I had to learn, more like sentence structure and things like that. Like, I can listen to them speak it. I can't speak it. I'm terrible at it. I hear how badly I'm pronouncing it as I'm saying it. Um, but like, I can understand what they're saying for the most part. But that's because, I mean, my wife and I started dating in '98, and that was what, 27 years ago. So like, yeah, it's taken that freaking long for me to, you know, to come around to it. And my kids can't speak a lick of it. I mean, I've tried to help. They can count and do proper greetings for their grandparents, but that's about it. Um, they're actually getting, both the boys can actually like moderately speak like conversational Spanish. I'm like, they teach it in school. They teach it at their school at a fairly young age, which was, I think, is cool. Like,
That's
learn as
awesome.
many languages, as you can. Communication is key, and that's another thing um, that I didn't write down, but I kind of wanted to talk about briefly, because we're running up on an hour. But communication um, is absolutely key for anything in your life,
Yeah,
because you
everything.
know you could be a hermit and be out there by yourself. Okay, but at some point you're going to need to come into town. You're going to need to converse with other people. You're going to need other people, and we are social creatures. You got to communicate, and effective communication is hard. It really is, because nobody knows what's going on in your mind. You have to verbalize it, or you have to show them, or whatever. That it goes back to my four rules, or some of my four rules. um the first one, that was what it was. You gotta be honest with yourself, and like, if you're honest with yourself, I feel like, there again, I'm not a therapist or any of this stuff, but I feel like if you're honest with yourself, then you can more effectively communicate yourself, your needs, your thoughts, your feelings to other people, because then you actually know it. How many times have you gone like, I in your head, man, I really don't know how I feel about XYZ. I really don't know. Oh, I mean, how do I feel about that? Because you have your first instinct, your first reaction, and a lot of times, I would say your first reaction is your true self. But
Yeah,
being honest with yourself is key. Absolutely.
it's hard. It's hard. It's not always easy. That's for
Oh,
sure.
dude, yeah, soul searching like crazy, man. I'm telling you, soul searching. That was the biggest thing that I have learned uh from therapy is how to like meditate. Sit there and get to the end of a thought process. That's how it was worded to me, and it makes sense because you're in a situation and you have a thought and you haven't fully thought it to its fruition. You haven't thought it all the way out. And so sometimes you just got to sit there and have a think about, like have that time for yourself. And I try to use meditation whenever I can, but I can't sit still. So I found this new thing, and it actually is good for you as well. It's called walking meditation. And there are multiple ways to do it. What works best for me is timing breathing in and out with my steps as I'm walking. And it helps clear my mind. It helps me be able to clearly think about one particular subject. And I usually, because my mind bounces all over the place, I usually can't stick to one topic in my head, and focus on, what do I really need to do? I'm building a shelf in there. What do I really need to do? Do I need to buy this or that? Oh, there's a squirrel. Like, that's kind of how I am in real life, because I don't have much of a filter.
No, I get it. I'm very similar. I think you and I are pretty similar dudes, and that's why we get along and can relate so much to each other's struggles too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But a lot of the struggles we have are universal. It's not just me or you or any certain type of person. It's everybody. Everybody struggles, and that's
what I'm hoping to do here. If we can help one person with one little tiny aspect of their life, any amount of time that I've dedicated to doing any of this is 100% worth it, because I've had people do that for me.
Same.
And I'm also 100% talked to you about this earlier, the pay it forward thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't always go back and fix a mistake, but you can pay it forward to somebody else. And like my grandpa always used to say, don't be nice, because nice can be fake. Be good to people. Be good to yourself, be good to others. Yeah,
man. Sounds like your grandpa
think
was a wise dude.
Oh, he really was. And he struggled with alcohol too.
Yeah.
And I didn't find this out until, this was my grandpa on my dad's side. I didn't find this out until later, and that it was the reason why my grandparents split up. Like, they split up the year I was born.
Yikes! Yeah.
Weirdly, and he lived with us for a while, and he was one of the first people that took care of me when I was little, and but that was the reason why, over alcohol. They ended up getting back together before both of them passed away, that was weird, because I grew up, knowing them apart, and then all of a sudden they're back together. It was, anyway. But yeah,
That's
so
cool,
yeah, I thought it was that. I mean, he was a very, very loyal person and just a good dude. But he had so many little sayings and whatnot. And Johnny mentioned once that he liked some of my sayings and whatnot. I mean, it's part of it's a Southern thing, but a lot of it just straight up comes from my pop. Like,
dude, not everything, but my grandpa was real similar. Super smart guy. Took care of me when I was little. And I learned so much from him. He had a ton of little sayings too, and I find myself like repeating them, and I'm just like, "What? I sound exactly like Jack Severs right now. Like, what's the deal?" But yeah, man, it's cool. It's really
I
cool.
also find myself now sounding like my dad to my kids. Um, and I s- I purposefully used one the other day because my son randomly out of nowhere, Dad, what do you think I should be when I grow up? Or what do you think I should do for a living when I grow up? He worded it strangely. Kind of took me off guard. I'm like, hmm. And I thought about it. And I'm like, but in the back of my mind, the entire time was exactly what my dad would always say to me: find something you're good at and find a way to make money at it. Literally, that's what he always would tell me, and it stuck with me. And that's what I did for the better part of 20 years was put sound systems together and mix live concerts and uh, you know build trusses to hang massive speakers on in stadiums, um, which is tons of fun, by the way. That's like it was tons of fun. I couldn't do it now because I feel like I'm not that part actually, because I mean you're hanging 40 feet up in the air. You got one rope and you got a 120-pound speaker that you're gently putting into place. How's that? All right, tighten it down. Yeah, good.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do that. But
I have zero fear of heights, which is scary because both my boys are the same way. Climbed up on a 12-foot ladder, standing up at the top. I'm like, what are you doing?
I didn't think I was afraid of heights, but I am. I absolutely am. I like to think I'm not afraid of things, but then when it comes time to actually like practice what I preach or like put it into action, I'm like, oh wait, never mind. I don't like this. Um, so yeah, heights are not for me. Not for me.
What about vehicles like motorcycles, you know,
Uh,
dirt bike riding, anything like that? Like anything daredevilish?
yeah, I mean, I enjoy that type of stuff, but I also am really clumsy, so I hurt myself a lot too. So, I enjoy it,
You know,
and I'm not afraid of it, but I'm probably going to hurt myself eventually. It's a matter of time, really. Like I got this electric scooter thing. Have you seen those like around like cities and stuff? Those
yeah,
like
those are
electric
cool.
scooters. Yeah, I got one. And man, I absolutely just ate it on that thing a couple weeks ago. Was going like 20 miles an hour, and I could see up ahead of me like the road. They were doing some like road construction, and there was like a 4 inch, like at least like lip where like the pavement they'd like paved one part but not the other. And I saw I was going straight at it, and so I decided to try to like throw the scooter down and just like run it out. I can't run 20 miles an hour, so I took like 3 steps and then just crashed into the ground, dude, so hard. But just sore. No real injuries from that one, but I was lucky. I was like, I didn't hit. I wasn't
Yeah.
wearing a helmet. Of course, I wasn't wearing a helmet. Who would do something
Oh,
smart
come
like
on,
that? Not
man.
not me. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
I know. And I somehow managed to like, cover my head enough to
tuck and roll.
not. Yeah, I roll. I ended up back on my feet at the end, and I felt
Oh,
pretty cool about
nice.
that. Yeah, but
You're like, did
but
anybody see that? Did
no, and they
somebody
did.
please tell me
They,
somebody got that on video?
cars like stopped and were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm only a couple blocks from home. I'm just gonna go home." But yeah, man, it was embarrassing for sure.
I saw a
Hurt my
girl
pride a bit.
completely. Oh, I'm sure. Like I that happened to me on a bicycle once, but I wasn't. I mean, I was a kid, and so it wasn't a big deal. A little kid just bit it. Ha 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 ha. Whatever.
Yeah.
No, but I saw this girl on. So I'm close to a college town, the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville, and I used to do a lot of work down there at the university on their in their stadiums and whatnot. And all the kids down there, they all ride scooters, like Honda Ruckus specifically. And so this girl had on like a skirt she probably shouldn't have been wearing on any type of motorcycle or anything like that. And so that's what caught my eye to begin with. Secondly, she bit it in the middle of the intersection. I'm talking a big intersection. It's 5 lanes going all directions. I mean, 2 lanes
Jesus.
this way, 2 lanes that way in the turning lane.
Yeah.
And then just slid and got up. She had road rash all down her leg. And I'm like, And it stopped traffic for a good while. And but yeah,
I was lucky.
sorry.
I had jeans and a hoodie on, so I didn't no road rash for me, thankfully. So yeah, mine could have been a lot worse than it was. I was just lucky. I've ridden it since. For a while, I was like, I probably shouldn't, and then I was like, no, I can't let that be my final ride. So I rode it today actually, and just
Can't
fine.
go out
But
like that.
no, not gonna let that be my final one. Not me. But yeah, man.
Okay, we'll wrap up the stream. Um, yeah, I mean, not bad, I guess, for the first one.
Nah, dude, it was great, and it all gets easier and gets better, and you know what I mean. You got the first one out of the way. That's the hardest one, man.
Yeah, and I always say this: I'm absolutely open to suggestions, but you have to hit the like button first. Um, let's see here. So I had something. I can't find it now. I'm gonna sit here and struggle to find it and take up a whole bunch of time. But be good to yourself. Be good to everyone else. Check in on your people. There's that one person out there that you hadn't spoken to in I don't know how long. Call them up, text them, whatever. Hey, how's it going? I hope you're having a good day. And yeah, with that, I will see you guys later. Do you have anything to add?
I always say the same things. Be good to yourself. Be good to others, and yeah, just try to be happy. You know, life's short, and yeah, just try to enjoy your time, but whilst being a good person. Don't have a good time at the expense of anybody else's good time. But yeah, you know where I'm going. Just the
Yeah,
same thing as you, man. But and also thanks a lot for having me on, dude. I hope we get to do it again together.
dude. Thanks for being here. You are absolutely my crutch right now. I'm like,
I got your back, man. Anytime you need me. It's been a blast.
oh, all right. We'll see you guys all later. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already.
You better not forget to do that, guys.
See if it. No, it didn't do it. Oh well. All right. See you later. Bye.